Hello everyone, this is Karen Charles and I'm here to share with you something really fun and new for our Husqvarna Viking Designer Epic 3 and Designer Epic 3 Nordic Frost. And I don't know if you've heard about it, but this is our brand new large magnetic hoop. It is 360 by 230 or 14 inches by 9 inches, and it is amazing. And it works for sheer fabrics, it works for quilts, it works for all different kinds of projects. But I thought I would show it to you and give you an idea how it works. Now, this is what it looks like. Looks quite a bit different than our other metal hoops that we've had. And our metal hoop that we have, this is an example, I'll show you, of what that looks like. This one is all made out of metal. The new magnetic hoop is not made out of metal, and the magnets are a different shape and size. So they're actually these bars, and you'll notice that they are touching every corner of the hoop. And so when you are hooping your fabric, whether it's a quilt or some kind of a sheer fabric, or maybe you're even doing lace with just a Aqua Magic or wash away stabilizer, this is going to control all the fabric in the hoop. So I'm going to take these off and show you how they come together. On the sides there are two, a smaller one and a longer one, and then the top and the bottom there is this one bar. They do recommend that you put the top and the bottom on first, and I'm going to give you a close-up look of these. This is the top side, and the side of it is a lot more shallower. And the magnets, you can see them in there. And like any of the magnetic or metal hoops, they don't recommend anybody use it if you have a pacemaker. But other than that, this is a great tool if you want to do quilting in the hoop, edge-to-edge quilting, or maybe a continuous design around a tablecloth, or a jacket or some other thing like that. But what I love about it is the size. So to put this on, you put it on like that. You can see how easy it clings. And I'll show you a little later on how you can put a quilt into the hoop, but you can see how nice that is. And then on the sides, and they say put the top and the bottom on first, and then you can put your side pieces on. And as you go to put the side pieces on, you're going to want to leave a little bit of a space on one of the corners, the top left or top right, because that's how you're going to bring the needle in through this area. And I'll put the right side on. And there's really no question about how this goes together, but I thought it's kind of like whenever something's new out, there's a little bit of a mystery about it, and so it's kind of nice to have an idea how it works. The other thing that I really love is that there's a full set of instructions that come with it that really take you through start to finish how you're going to use it and how you're going to put it together. We also have this hoop is already in the machine. So they've already preloaded this. If you've done the newest update for the Epic 3, then the hoop is already in there ready to go, and all you have to do is select it. And there's new designs that are in there too that I'm going to show you in a moment. So if you don't see it listed on your machine, there's a very good chance you might not have done the last update, and that's easy to take care of. You all know how to do that. So isn't this amazing? I love our new magnetic hoop because it's so easy to use and is going to allow us to do much, much larger quilt designs so we can do continuous quilting in the hoop. And I know I've got a jacket planned for it where I'm going to be using it to embroider down the front of the jacket and along the bottom of it. So let's see what's next. All right, so here's a close-up of the new magnetic hoop, and they call it the large magnetic hoop. And I've taken this off, and I'm going to put a table runner in. And you can see they're pretty firmly on there, which is going to help the quilt stay in place. And I want to draw your attention to the marks that are in the top up here and also on the sides. So that will show you the center of the hoop where the design is going to be embroidered if you want the design in the center of the hoop. And I'm going to put on a table runner for you. Now, if I was going to do something and I wanted to make sure something was centered, say I'm going to put this on here like this. All right, and I'm going to do the embroidery. Now you can see this is already quilted. This was an edge-to-edge quilt design, But so I thought it would be kind of fun to use this. I'm not going to use this to do the actual quilting, but I wanted to give you an idea of how the template works and how the bars work. All right. So right now, if I was to hoop the top part here, all I have to do is bring my hoop over, and you can see how quickly it goes into place. All right. Now, there it is, the edge of the hoop here, and I have the edge of the hoop here. You can see I have a lot more room over on that side, right? So I can center it like this. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to put the bar on the bottom, and that's what they say to do. Put the top bar on and then put the bottom bar on. And this kind of gives you an opportunity to kind of stretch out the top and the bottom and make sure that your fabric is lined up, and you can get any extra fullness out of there like that. And now once you've done that, then you're going to go and you're going to put the side pieces on. So if I put this side piece on here, you'll see when you look at it close up, there is the shallow side and there is the longer flat side. The longer flat side goes on top. The shallow side is on the side like that. So when I put it in here, do you see how easy it is to get this into place? And the best part about this is your fabric is now fully supported by this long bar, and so you don't have to worry about, is it going to be holding everything in place, because it really is going to keep your quilt really nice and stabilized. And then I'm going to come up here and set this last one in place, and there's my quilt ready to go. All right, and so if I come up over here and I'm going to hold this up like this, all right, you see how nice and in there it is? And if I felt that I needed to make this a little fuller, I can lift the bar up and just pull the quilt up a little bit and make it a little bit taunter. But usually when you're quilting a quilt, you don't want it too taut. So this is just about right, actually. And then I can go and load my design. And there's a beautiful, beautiful design that actually would have filled this area perfectly. I'm kind of sorry that this is already quilted, because it would be just perfect for this quilt. Now I've have my hoop in place, and I've laid the template on top of it. There's different ways you can use the template. One of them is, if you're working with sheer fabric, you can lay the template in place to hold the fabric while you're putting the bars in place. But this is another way that I think, as I'm starting to use this for the first time, that it is really helpful. When I put this table runner in the hoop, and I lay everything down and put the template down, can you see how valuable it is to be able to see that your quilt is in there straight and square? And in the beginning, I didn't have the template on, and I was kind of, fooling with it and pulling it left and right and everything. And the moment I put the template in place, I could see whether these lines were accurate or not. And so I know that this would be perfectly straight and square to start quilting it. And I think that's really an amazing use for this template, because if you've got multiple blocks in there, you're going to have different lines that you can look at to make sure that you're not stretching or pulling your quilt out of shape. And that's going to give you a much, much better quality quilting. As you go through and quilt a larger quilt, it's going to be very, very important to know that you've got your quilt in the hoop straight. So isn't that amazing? You can tell immediately when you're looking at this how nice and straight those lines are. Now I'm going to take the template out so you can see what it looks like without it. And when you go to put the hoop in place, you're going to take the sensor Q foot and the needle and bring it through one of the openings like that to get it through. And we're going to go over now and look at our screen. Let me just readjust the camera here. And I'm going to show you how you can find some designs that were put in specifically for this hoop. Now, first of all, let's go and select the hoop. So if I go to my hoop options, and we'll bring this in a little bit here. Let's see if we bring it like that. And I'm going to go to my hoops. Now, we have had 21 optional hoops till now. And now that they have added the large magnetic hoop, that brings us up to a total of 22 hoops. Isn't that amazing? I love that about Husqvarna Viking, that they keep adding more hoops and make it easy for us to get the best results. So after I've done that, I'm going to close that down. I certainly could scan in the hoop if I wanted to see what my quilt looks like so that I could see it on the screen. I would scan in my hoop. But right now, I really just want to show you where to find some of the new designs. So if I go over to the embroidery files that are built in, you will find, I think there's 10 new designs. So by going to, if you'll go to it a second here, I'm going to go over to theme. And if I scroll down to the bottom, these last 4 designs were added in for this large magnetic hoop. And this is a long design and the corner. And then this is another design that can be used with a separate corner to it. And then if you go over a couple of different folders later, under quilt, and you scroll down, this is absolutely a stunning design, and it's got a corner for it too. And if I load this, it will load it into the 360 by 230 hoop. So it's ready to go. Now, do I know that it's the magnetic hoop? The answer is yes, because if it says 360 by 230, that is the only hoop that is that size. But if you're not sure, you can always go and look at your hoop options and make sure it says large magnetic hoop. But it loaded right into there. And then the other design that works with that is a corner design. I think this would just be stunning. You could do this on a tablecloth or on a jacket. It would be just beautiful. And then you also have another long design for like a quilt border, and then a corner, and another quilt design, and a different corner. So altogether, there is 6 designs here that are in the quilt one. And then under theme, there was 4 other designs. So go and search them out, because they are beautiful, beautiful designs. And they're going to be gorgeous for you to be playing with the large magnetic hoop if you have it. And even if you don't have the hoop, you still have those designs. You would just use a different hoop to use those with. So give them a try. And I'm going to come back over. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. But I think this is really a fabulous addition to the hoops that we have available for the Epic 3 and the Epic 3 Nordic Frost. Well, I hope you all enjoyed finding out more about our large magnetic hoop. Make sure to go in to see your dealer and find out more about it. And if you're interested in it, I would check with your dealer really quickly, because they're going to be selling out fast. This has become my favorite hoop of all time.